You promised yourself you wouldn't do it tonight. You put the phone across the room. You even deleted the app once. But here you are again, scrolling, not forward, backward, 3 months, 6 months, sometimes 2 years back, reading words you already know by heart, looking at photos you've seen 100 times. And when you finally put the phone down, you feel heavier. Not better, heavier. Welcome to digital grief, the addiction we don't talk about. There is a specific type of person who rereads old messages when they miss someone, not because they are lonely or desperate, not because they have no self-control, but because something inside them quietly believes the past is still accessible. That if they read those words carefully enough, if they study the timestamps precisely enough, they can somehow step back into who they were when those messages were new. They pick up their phone at 2:47 a.m. not to check the time, not to answer that email they ignored all day, to check a conversation from 6 months ago, maybe from someone who left without explanation, maybe from someone they pushed away, maybe from someone who is still in their life but feels completely different now. They scroll past new notifications, ignore fresh messages from people who are actually present, and land exactly where they promised themselves they wouldn't go again. The thread with that person, the one whose name still makes their chest tighten, the one who knew them in a way nobody else did. Or at least, that is how it feels when they read those old words. They read, "I miss you too," for the 100th time. They stare at the timestamp, March 14th, 2:13 a.m. They remember that night, the warmth of being understood, the safety of being chosen, the version of themselves that existed in that conversation, confident, wanted, fully seen. And for a moment, they feel close again, not to the person, to the feeling, to who they were when those words were true. To someone watching from the outside, this might look unnecessary. It might even look a little irrational. Why would someone voluntarily return to a conversation that ended in pain? Why would they keep touching a wound they claim they want to heal? But from the inside, the pull feels far more complex than it appears on the surface, because it was never really about the messages themselves. It was about what those messages represent in the personal story, a time when connection felt easy, when love felt guaranteed, when the future seemed to promise more of that same warmth. The messages become evidence, proof that it really happened, that it was real, that they didn't imagine the whole thing. And in a world where relationships end ambiguously, where people ghost instead of explaining, where closure is a luxury most never receive, those preserved words become the only concrete thing left, the only proof that someone once chose them. But here is the psychology your brain won't tell you. Your brain doesn't experience digital messages the way it experiences memories. Normal memories fade, they get blurry at the edges. Your mind edits them, softens them, makes them manageable over time. This is how grief is supposed to work. The sharpness dulls, the pain integrates. You carry the person forward without carrying the full weight of their absence. But screenshots, timestamps, exact words preserved in perfect pixels, your brain sees this precision and thinks this is real. This is now. This is available. The digital archive tricks your nervous system into believing the past is still present. That if you just read carefully enough, you might find the clue you missed, the moment where everything went wrong, the sentence you could have said differently, the proof that it could still be fixed. Your brain is doing what brains do, seeking connection in the most reliable source it knows, even if that source is a ghost, even if that source keeps you frozen. And here is where it becomes complicated. You tell yourself this helps. I'm honoring what we had. I'm not ready to let go yet, and that's okay. Sounds reasonable. Self-compassionate even. It is a trap. Digital grief is not processing. It is looping. Real processing moves forward. It changes shape. It integrates into your story and allows you to keep living. But rereading freezes you at the exact moment of peak emotion. You feel close to them again, but it is past tense closeness, a chemical hit of oxytocin from words that no longer have living context. The more you visit, the more your brain confuses was with is. You start responding to the present through the lens of the past. Someone new shows interest, but you compare their texts to the old ones. They don't use the same emojis. They don't write at the same hour. They don't feel as intense. And slowly, quietly, you stop investing in people who are actually here. Because why risk new connection with all its messiness and uncertainty when the old one is perfect, preserved, and risk-free? The digital ghost never disappoints you, never has a bad day, never says the wrong thing, never leaves you again. That is not love. That is museum curation. You are not keeping a relationship alive. You are keeping a specimen perfect. So what actually works? Not deleting everything in anger? Not forcing yourself to move on before you're ready? Not pretending you don't care. Something smaller. Something your brain actually understands. Create a ritual. Pick one message. Not the whole thread. Not the hundreds of pages. One message. The one that hurts most. Or helps most. The one that captures everything you need to remember. Write it down. Not typing. Handwriting. Your brain processes ink differently. The slowness of pen on paper. The physical movement of your hand. It encodes the memory differently. Not as data to be accessed instantly, but as experience to be integrated slowly. Put the date at the top, the person's name, what they wrote, what it meant to you, then, and this is the important part, schedule your visits. Not whenever you feel sad, not at 2 a.m. when your defenses are down. Sundays at 4 p.m., 10 minutes, set a timer. When you feel the pull on Tuesday night, you tell yourself, Sunday, not now. When the timer ends on Sunday, you close the notebook. Not because the feelings are wrong, because unlimited access is not healing, it is re-injury. You are teaching your brain that this memory has a place, it has a time, it is honored, but it is not your whole life. The goal is not to forget. It is not to pretend it didn't matter. It is to integrate, to let that relationship become part of your story instead of your daily devotional, to carry the love forward without carrying the ghost. Tonight, when your thumb hovers over that thread, pause, breathe, ask yourself honestly, am I seeking comfort or am I seeking time travel? If it is comfort, put the phone down. Call someone who is here. Text the friend who checked in yesterday. Let the present show you it has warmth too. If it is time travel, if you are hoping to step back into who you were, remember this, you cannot grow in a museum. The person you were in those messages, they were beautiful, they were worthy, they were doing their best, but they are not who you are becoming. Needs you here. Present. Available to new love. Open to new connection, risking the messiness of real relationship. Instead of the safety of preserved perfection, those messages were real. The love was real. The person you were with them, still inside you. But the person you are becoming, they are sending messages too, making new memories, building new evidence, creating new timestamps that will one day be someone else's nostalgia. Keep what matters, visit with intention, then walk forward. Your future is sending messages right now. Make sure you have space to receive them. Make sure you are here to answer. You are here now, not in the messages, not in the past. Here, the morning does not ask who you were, it asks who you are becoming. Let the light in. All of it. Even the parts you used to scroll past. Care for something that grows slowly. Learn patience again. Learn that love does not live in a screen. Growth is quiet. You will not always see it, but it is happening. Taste your food. Feel heat. Smell coffee. Be where your body is. Notifications. Just nourishment. Just you choosing to be present. Walk slowly. Look up. The world is still here. It was waiting for you to return. Help someone. Not for a message, not for proof, for the simple human act of showing up. Your future is sending messages. You are here to answer. Keep walking. Keep living. Keep becoming.